all see who's here and everyone. We've got most jurisdictions represented. We don't have Colonial Heights, Petersburg, right?
No.
We have Heather.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we have
Proxy.
their advocate. That's for sure. So, Chet, I will turn it over to you since you had something that you needed to discuss.
Sure, thanks. I just wanted to share with everybody, I've gotten a couple direct questions about the agendas, and we are having an issue, Plan RBA is having an issue with its website. There's a plugin or some kind of web form that is expired or needs to be fixed in terms of the calendar. So we've lost a lot of dates where they're not displaying properly. So hopefully everybody got the agenda for this meeting through the email that Janice sent out or some other means, but we're hoping to have it fixed soon. So I apologize for that. And if you have any questions or need anything as we move into next week with both the TAC and the Finance Committee, hopefully it's not going to be an issue then, but just in case, reach out to staff and we'll get it figured out.
Okay. Thank you for that. Are there any amendments to the meeting agenda? Okay, looks like we're on track then. We'll move to open public comment period. Is there anyone that has any comments they'd like to share? And did we get any emails?
No, we haven't received any requests to address the group.
Okay, well, we encourage people to
I'll share an update real quick if that works.
Sure.
Great. So Naomi Sayonmak with the Petersburg Planning Department. I just wanted to share that we had applied for a grant for our park where the Fall Line Trail will land. It's the Outdoor Recreation Legacy Partnership Grant, ORLP. And we are close to the final steps. The letters will say awarded, the press release says awarded, but we still have some documentation to get together and some work to do. But hopefully we'll get $3.5 million in funds to help support improvements in design at Patton Park, where the Fall Line Trail will land in Petersburg. Sorry if Heather has already shared this update. Heather's been a great asset. We've all worked together on getting that application in, and FOLAR is really helping with this process. There's going to be a revised design for the park as well as implementation of improvements. So pretty excited on that process. Heather, if you want to add anything, feel free.
That's great. Yep, good job. All right, well, we'll move to number 4 on the agenda, which is trail maintenance, and Phil is going to handle this for us.
Yes, thank you. And welcome, Naomi. We didn't do any roll call or anything, but good to see everybody. It looks like we've got every locality represented. So yeah, I'm going to share my screen, and I'll just say ahead of time that this is a rough draft, a very rough draft. So it's kind of one of those where I'm hoping that people have input that helps improve some of the information we have on this, and some of it is imagined, or not imagined, but gleaned from our previous meetings. Here it goes, finally.
Yeah, and Phil, if you don't mind, just while you're getting everything set up, just to set up the discussion today. The last time the TAC met, and Barb, jump in if I say anything incorrectly, there was a fairly major discussion about the maintenance needs for Fall Line and how we're going to get kind of our arms around what that entails.
Or management. I just want to be sure we're using the right word, because they mean two different things, even though they are intertwined.
Yes, I think you're correct, and I think maintenance is part of management, maybe.
Yeah, right.
So yes, the overall management, how that might be approached, and we've had some board members start to ask questions like, what does that actually mean? So what TAC did at its last meeting was kind of make the request for the Fall Line work group to provide more information and substantiate what management might include and help to put together a package for the elected officials to better understand what the needs are for fall line as it starts to come out of the ground.
Okay, yeah, if you don't mind, I'll jump in there. We kind of had a to-do list that we generated, and these were items that were going to be addressed so that when we had our next CBTA TAC meeting in October, we could talk about long-term management some more. And it was VDOT was going to get us the miles of VDOT maintained trail and the miles that would be jurisdiction maintained. We got a copy of the General Assembly 2020 Virginia Capital Trail Sponsorship and Maintenance Report for folks to review. Capital Trail Foundation was planning on giving us the VDOT CTF MOU to look at. We're also going to be able to review the VDOT Henrico MOU. And then we're hoping to get some comments from sports backers and Capital Trail on the draft long-term management document that's already been produced. So those were what I had on the to-do list so that we would have information to review. And the goal was to have all this information packaged up so that jurisdictions that the Fall Line Trail falls within can have conversations with VDOT or, potential agencies that might want to do long-term management. Yeah. Okay. So I think I'm on track. All right, Phil, it's all yours.
Okay, well, thank you both. I was saying this is sort of a template of the maintenance of per locality. We sort of from previous meetings and discussions about the trail itself, the fall line, I should say, and then about the Capital Trail. Kat Anthony, director of Virginia Capital Trail, presented in April to this group and went over a lot of the maintenance of the Virginia Capital Trail. So sort of modeled after that. This is, like I said, rough draft. Sorry. Excuse me. Very rough draft. So just, give me notes as we go.
So you're talking about maintenance.
Yes. Which, as Chad said, this is a part of the management of it, but yes, just denoting the expected maintenance of the trail.
This is 4A on the agenda.
Okay. Yeah, it's just the cover slide. It's fine. Maintenance is part of management. The date on the cover slide
Yes.
was the 10th. It's the 2nd, right?
What? Oh, you're right. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Okay. All right. Just
This
trying
is a
to.
future presentation. No. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So,
We're good.
but just briefly, I've got, basically the trail broken down into 5 slides, and essentially, Ashland's is built. Their Parks and Rec department is expected to be, maintaining most of that corridor as far as I've been led to believe. In Hanover, it's mostly VDOT, but there is the section of the existing Hanover Ashland Trolley Line Trail that is apparently going to be Parks and Rec. Although I don't know that conversation, that final decision has been made for maintaining that. As we go further south into Henrico, and please, Sharon, if there's things I don't have clear here, a lot of the trailheads are here, and the expected maintenance, I think, is Henrico. There are sections along Brook Road that I am not sure of. Hilliard Road as well that could be VDOT, but
sorry, I think a lot of it is going to be VDOT. Some of it where it's crossing Henrico roads will be ours. But yeah, I know that's something we need to clarify with VDOT. But I think a lot of the easements we're getting are for VDOT, not the county. So primarily VDOT, but there are portions the county will maintain.
You're saying of the entire trail, not just things along Brook Road or Hilliard, for example.
Along Brook Road in Hilliard, which is VDOT maintained, that would be VDOT.
Right.
But like even other sections that are more cross country are VDOT as well. So we're getting easements right of way or easements in VDOT's name.
Okay,
Going to be maintained by VDOT. There's a few where it's crossing Henrico County maintained roads where we'll be maintaining it. And I'll need to find where this is all written down, but this is what it's been discussed before.
okay. Thank you, Sharon. Yeah, and like I say, this is a very rough draft. So down to the city, again, we've got a portion in Bryan Park. Currently, that's obviously Parks and Rec, but the maintenance of the corridor, from what I've gleaned, is city responsibility. And Atiba, I know that it could be, I could have things inaccurate here, but is that what your understanding is as well, that the city would be maintaining fall line through the city?
At the moment, we believe that is the case, yes.
When I talked about the Virginia Capitol Trail presentation, Kat Anthony did have it sort of laid out with, for example, the section of the Virginia Capitol Trail along Great Shiplock Park, behind parts of Rockets Landing, and along the Capitol Trees portion of the Lowline Trail, that various departments have responsibilities depending on where you are in that section. So I'm assuming that there's going to be more nuances for what departments handle what sections.
Sure. I will report back to the group with more information as necessary.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Brantley, I see you have a hand up, sir.
Yeah, I just the one, probably the biggest conspicuous thing missing here is asphalt, and then maybe you mean that by repairs, but I would imagine that that's going to fall under DPW's portfolio.
You're right. Thank you for noting that. And I was going to say, Atiba, looking at this line, this is an older alignment from Duval, or I guess as Brook Road connects, down through that's the 7th Street connection right now. Is the alignment, has it been changed to 5th Street?
We're playing with
Officially?
a few different scenarios at the moment.
Okay.
That too, I can get back to you in due time with a more concrete answer. I have a meeting this afternoon relative to some folks. We're doing some math.
Okay. Fantastic. Thank you. I know that there's, still a lot of balls up in the air. So, yeah, appreciate that.
We are making it through the city, that's for sure.
Fantastic. Thank you. So as we get into Chesterfield, and there's 2 sections of this because Chesterfield has a lot of territory to cover. But Barbara, primarily I've got VDOT in the maintenance of it, but I know there's sections existing Chester Linear Park, for example, that and some sections that may even have some I'm not sure about, like, say, the solar farm area along Brander Bridge Road and so on, like who would actually be maintaining parts of those.
Yeah, that's still VDOT. It'll
Okay.
be in VDOT right of way or easements, and I would say repairs are VDOT as well. Asphalt bridges, debris mowing, repairs.
Right. Yeah. 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 And I was going to say, with the linear park, is that expected to essentially be VDOT as well? Yeah. With things that are within existing parks.
Yeah. We haven't had a discussion.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. There's another section here that has a little bit of Chesterfield as we get into Colonial Heights and Petersburg. And again, I have not been in contact with Colonial Heights or Petersburg. And thank you, Naomi, for being here. I was going to say, we're essentially landing in Patton Park, which obviously is a Parks and Rec facility. But as far as you know, is that expected that, the bridge would be a VDOT project, but are you aware of any plans for the long-term maintenance of the properties?
Let me take a look at what you suggested here, and I'll share that with Parks and Rec and Public Works and just make sure we're all on the same page. I'll get back to you.
And I've had a conversation with VDOT,
Oh,
you
great.
know, too, and it's very clear that, yes, the bridge and the landing will be VDOT and the rest is not, you know, and again, you know, the DB2 literally lands in Petersburg and doesn't go any farther, right? So there is no fall line trail, if you will, in VDOT's eyes. It lands in Petersburg and that's the responsibility.
Thank you. Yes, that's been my assumption as well. And I know on the Colonial Heights side, you know, we're talking about, you know, depending on what foot you're on, really in the trail, you could be in Colonial Heights or Chesterfield as it goes up the hill and into you know, toward Brander Bridge Road area. But you know, as it bounces around between like Lakeview Park, again, you're going through a park area. Right of way of the old rail line. You know, Chesterfield and Colonial Heights own different portions of that. Yeah, it's unclear to me you know, what plans there are for, you know, I would assume it's mostly VDOT for the trail itself, but yes, you know, when it comes to maintenance, we're, you know, all the other pieces with amenities and trash and so on. Anyway, that's trying to start that conversation with everybody and you know, kind of get some of those items clarified. But yeah, thank you. Please, you know, everybody, you know how to get in touch with me. Just, you know, as you you know, get more information, just let me know about that. That's basically what I had. And again, I realize like with Atiba, I brought up the alignment issue. As far as I know, there's not any other alignment issues. This is you know, hard to tell on the map, but I've tried to keep this very updated. This is our the same shapefile that we use for presenting the, you know, the funding for the CBTA as we track all the funding for fall line. So anyway, we've tried to keep that pretty updated, but I do think that in the city we probably have some misaligned sections. So, excuse me.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, that's all I had. I was going to say I was hoping that we would be able to you know, share more about that, but I'd be much happier if everybody wants to just provide me feedback as you get it to clarify some of these very rough estimates on maintenance. Do you have any questions?
Any questions, anyone? I think VDOT was going to provide us with mileage. And you know,
Okay.
maybe it'll be handy to have a map that goes with it since it sounds like there are some sections in Henrico, though not a whole lot, that will be Henrico's responsibility. Sharon?
I do not have a map, but I love visuals because that would be great. I did add to the chat our memorandum of agreement with VDOT. There's a lot of legalese in there. So it was kind of what I summarized before, but it definitely needs a deeper dive. Map would make it a lot clearer, but we don't have that.
Okay. Yeah, so I encourage folks to review the MOA that Sharon's posted in the chat. And we'll be sure to get these other items on the to-do list that we've discussed, get those addressed so that at the October TAC meeting, we can talk about that some more. If there's nothing else on this subject, we'll move on in the agenda to a fall line update from VDOT. Is there someone here?
I'm here. Yeah, and
Oh,
you guys
there you
may have
go.
guessed I'm pinch hitting today, so this will be short. But the DB2 RFP is expected to be released this week. We had a bit of a snag in central office, but we are on the way to getting this out the door, so we should be good to go soon. And that's all I have.
Great. Anybody else? Joe, do you have anything to add about Design Build 1?
Yeah, not really, although my impression is that the project is moving forward. In my assessment, it appears to be ahead of schedule. The ribbon cutting date is September of 25, and you know, some sections are already already have asphalt. I think
Wow.
the bridge will be that will require the most time, but progress is being made on the bridge as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're done well before that September 25 completion date.
Okay, great.
Joe, if you don't mind, I've been out to the site not long ago, and the abutments at the Chickahominy are in, and
Yeah.
there's pavement from Woodman Road up to that section. I have not been in Hanover. I know Chet has been there and seen, some of the work to prepare for the trail, but yeah, it's moving along pretty fast and looking. I want to ride it. I mentioned to ride some of that section that's already built, but it's blocked.
Brantley?
That's as good of time as any, I think, to announce that we'll be having exclusive access to the paved section in Hanover as part of our Trailblazer event. VDOT has been able to arrange with the contractors that we can access the trail north of Gwathmey Church. So we'll be able to hike from Gwathmey Church on the trolley line to the existing boardwalk section, to the existing paved trail that's near Ash Cake Road, and back as a part of the Trailblazer event on October 19th. I will say you're all gonna get details about this, and I'm gonna talk about it at the Friends of the Fall Line meeting in an hour. But the Don't Park at Carter Park. There's a 5K happening that day, and you won't be able to get to it. So we're Emmy from Parks and Rec in Ashland was helpful in us getting us a parking lot at the Gwathmey Baptist Church. So the hike will not maybe be the exact alignment that you're familiar with, but it would be very good.
Great. October 19th. Okay. Moving on to member updates for Fall Line projects. Does anyone, I don't know whether Atiba, if you have anything to share or.
I was hoping that Mark Riblet would be here. I have some questions regarding some possible funding that may have cleared for Kanawha Plaza. Sarah, if you're familiar.
Yes, I'm not sure. I'm not, we were setting up a UPC for Kanawha, so I'm not sure if that's been 100% set up, but the other project, I can see the money on the project. So the money is available and getting put on the projects. So I can have Mark follow up with you.
Thank you.
Great. Is that the 7.5 that sports backers got through the General Assembly?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So that's,
I can see it on the projects. So Mark will have more details on that, but I can tell you it's there.
okay, great. Let's see. Anyone else? Member update? Sharon, do you have anything to tell us?
So we're just in the thick of finalizing some design with floodplain and working with VDOT on some cable railing alternative. So trying to wrap up those final design elements, and then in the thick of right-of-way negotiations, which is always fun. So, but we're making our way through it. Are you able to hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. In Chesterfield, we've got about 4 projects on Route 1 that are at various stages of development. We were happy, I think I told you this before, happy to get good bids on one little teeny tiny short thing. So that'll start construction in the spring. Heather?
I just wanted to follow up to Naomi's announcement about the Trailhead Park project to just give a little more context. We do think a press release is coming out this week, and the project is a 50-50 match. I just wanted to mention that the 50% match is really coming from a Smart Scale project. So this really is, we married Smart Scale that's funding the parking lot in the Appomattox River Trail. We married that to the rest of the park improvements. And so it really is a great multi-agency project, leveraging other state funding. It's kind of a different way to do a match for a project, but we're really excited about it. And like Naomi said, not quite over the finish line, but we're getting there, and really excited to get funding for that trailhead.
Yeah, that's great. Great creative leveraging. Mm-hmm. Brantley?
I'm trying to remember what my question was. Oh yeah, the 4 sections of Route 1, are they relatively contiguous? And do they have can you
Relative.
characterize the funding that are, is it Safe Streets for All funding or CBTA, or do you know
Oh,
how?
it's all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want, I can give you the lowdown.
I just like to be able to tell that story. Yeah, so at some point, conversational understanding would be fun.
Yeah, we have a dashboard for the Fall Line Trail on the county webpage that's got some details that might be useful.
I'll reach out if that is not helpful. Thanks.
There's a staff member that needs to update that regularly, and so there should be a disclaimer on the page that maybe some of the information is out of date. But we
And
try to
Barb,
keep it
I
up
was-
to date.
Barb, I was going to say some of those sections are ones that were in planning before Fall Line, correct?
That's right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of why they're disjointed.
Yeah, okay. Those, the ones that we started, those actually connect to stuff. But yeah, anyway, we're making progress over in Chesterfield. Sarah?
Yes, I just wanted to follow up with the Tivas question. Yes, I can see your project. It's in the system. It's not a permanent UPC yet. So you can't see it, but we'll get that fixed shortly. And the money is on the project. 4.5 million. That's what you were expecting, correct? Yep. Okay, great.
Thanks. Anyone else? Okay, future topics. Anyone have future topics to discuss? To put on the list? All right, our next meeting's November 6th, if we have a future topic to discuss. Otherwise, we might not have a meeting.
I think we have ongoing discussions about management and maintenance.
Yes.
Barb, this is Nora.
Uh-huh.
Was there
Hi, Nora.
something approved at CBTA? I think like 1.5 million. And can you say what that was for? Was that for wayfinding?
That is correct. Yeah.
Sorry if you said it and I missed it.
No, we didn't say it, so that we appreciate the prompting. Chet put together an agenda item having to do with interest earnings from the regional pot, I guess, right? And had various scenarios that of how to apply those interest earnings, and the CBTA full authority did approve 1.5 million earmarked towards wayfinding. So based on estimates that we got when we put the plan together, that should cover putting the signs in and doing any sort of planning that we would need to do to get the layout correct for segments as they're built. Did I get that right, Chet?
Yes. I think the next step is figuring out how to run the accounting side to fund the reimbursements out of that 1.5 when the signs start going in, but we'll get that worked out.
Yeah. Okay.
So I can say variously that the CBTA has funded the wayfinding for the Fall Line, and it'll be developed, on an ongoing basis.
Yep.
Great, thank you.
All right. Anyone else? Okay, we're adjourned.